Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, Thursday, August 13th of 2020. As you can see on the screen here, this video here is in Google Photos, and I think I uploaded it a few days ago, and it's still at 360p. I've been waiting for it. I don't know. Anyway, with my new cell phone, well, with my old too, but with my new cell phone, pictures that I take are bang, they're uploaded, images and video immediately to Google Photo, which is good. But this Google Video here, I was waiting for it to go to 1080p, and then I was just going to download it and upload it to YouTube because somebody wanted to see what the computer desk looked like area. But it's stayed at 360p, so I'm just going to go ahead and play it here full screen. And let's give that a try. So this was made a few days. I guess it was made Monday. Today's Thursday, so it was just made a few days ago, I believe. So here we go. Cross your fingers. Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it's August 10th of 2020. And I'm recording this on my cell phone, my Motorola, or my Mota, what's it called? I forget. It's one of the big battery. Okay, I guess it's the Moto G Power, I believe. Someone asked to see the setup here. It's nothing really special, and I move stuff around a lot, and I hook up different, operating systems and things like that, but nothing special. On the left and the bottom, you can see now I have the desktop sitting on the floor, and I'm running Linux. And the keyboard's Logitech G910. The monitor's one of those extra wide monitors, and it's an LG. Speakers are just regular speakers. I have bad hearing, so speakers don't really matter. Here's Google, what do they call that? Echo. Their extended thing where you can have, comes with two, and I think I bought an extra one. So I have 3 of these. So there's one of these, the white device there. One of those is hooked into the cable modem that comes in. And then there is okay, that's one. And I thought I had 3. Anyway, here's the other one. So I have my computer here hooked into, I turned the volume up a little bit because the Wi-Fi card on this does not do real well. It's an old desktop computer. Oh, here's this light, of course, that I reviewed on top of the thing there. It really works out well, and it was inexpensive. They do have that was the first thing I noticed, an expensive one, but it was about $100, and I thought, then I found one that was identical just about. This monitor, by the way, has HDMI and has a display port, which is good. I've got some other monitors, well, I can just swing around here. Got these other monitors on the floor. But none of them have display ports. They just have HDMI and maybe VGA or something, you know. But this does have a display port on it. This mic stand, this is a mic stand, not a lamp. You'd think it's a lamp, right? I just got that. It's working out okay. I've just got my Logitech C920E camera, you know, USB camera. I'm going to hook back up the Brio camera because that's, for some reason, when I went to Linux here, I'm not getting the quality or the format that I should. And so I'm going to hook up the Brio because I think it has and will. What else? Here's, of course, the desktop on the floor. As you can see, there really isn't, you know, very much UPS power thing here, but I think the battery's dead on it, so I need to buy a new one. I had one that lasted years and years and years, and this one that's on the floor, not that old, and the battery has not any good. I worked at CompUSA in Florida for a year or so, and actually I was doing putting the prices on things rather than selling items. But you might as well buy a new UPS unit rather than buying a battery and try, you know, replace the battery. At least that's my opinion. This is Echo, and right now it's here. I keep moving stuff around. But I need to move it again. I just don't have enough room in this room for everything, and because I have a lot of, you know, there's a couple lights, and there's a microphone stand in the corner. I just don't have. I have these containers that I have a lot of stuff in, but I don't know what's in the containers. You know, there's those containers there. Of course, the top one's laundry, but these two containers over here, and then now inside of these containers are other containers sometimes, and there's these containers over here, and so I think that's it. People always, I think, assume or think that I do need I need a new chair. That chair is, all the covering is coming off, and the chair doesn't adjust well, it's uncomfortable. So I do need another chair. Okay, wasn't that exciting? Now the video was very poor quality, but on the camera it's excellent quality. So the problem is that Google Photos I don't know what the deal is. And I've gone into the settings, and the settings, you know, I'm paying extra for Google Photos. I also pay for, I pay for every, you know. By the way, here's our ice maker. This is our third one, and I think the works inside here are the same. Must be one factory in China that makes the works, but the outside, you know, of these things are slightly different. Very little difference. As I've mentioned before, my ex-wife and my grown son, we all share this apartment. My ex-wife and I have been divorced for, I think, about 40 years. Well, let's see. I think I was about 40 when we got divorced, and I am, I'll be 80 in March. So, but I happened to be sleeping when this came in, and this little thing here lifts out. It gets the ice cubes. And down here is where you pour the water. You have to there's no, hookup. You have to pour water down in here. And so when it came in, when it was arrived, she, of course, insists, and the other two in the past, I've just rinsed them out, put water in, dumped it out, and maybe I ran the plastic thing through the dishwasher. I don't know. But anyway, when I woke up, well, in fact, she woke me up, saying that the ice machine didn't work. And I went in, and then I told her, well, you need to wait 1 hour when you get something like that in, an ice maker like that, because it has a container or in there that has gas, I believe, in it. And if that item was shipped, UPS or FedEx or whatever, and it was upside down, or it takes an hour for it to settle. And I said the other two, I think I plugged them in, at least one of them in without waiting an hour, and it still worked. And I said, but probably this may have a little circuit in there that knows it hasn't been, the gas hasn't settled or something. So we waited an hour, and the thing still didn't work. And then I said, when you cleaned it, I said, did you, and she said, oh, I put the wash rag and everything in the back in here and washed the mechanism in the back. I said, okay, well, and the thing is, these things are built. We love having ice like this, and it's worth, the first one we I think lasted I believe a year and a half. The second one lasted a year. This is our third one. Anyway, so I said, okay, well, something's been, jiggled, because these things when you look in here, it's very, cheaply made, little tiny pins, and everything is very fragile, very thin. We're not talking a Mercedes or, And so I was messing with it a little bit, and I said, something's come, not setting correct or whatever. Then my grown son came in, and my ex-wife, oh, let Jimmy handle. He knows how to fix things. He knows how to. He doesn't know how to. Well, he has a degree in computers and electronics. Wait a minute, computers and I forget. But oh man, he is not gentle at all. So he just goes there and does that. I was saying, now, Jimmy, just take it, take it easy, and click. It clicked, and that was it, and then it started working, so it's working. So she still thinks that. But anymore, thank God for him, because just bending over for me the arthritis is really bad, and taking out the trash is difficult, and everything is difficult now. So thank God for, we're all sort of helping each other out. So, let's see. Oh, on the, I don't know if that showed him that. I need to, I got right now the network cable just half, it's like I need to find my longer cable so I can run it and not have this cable. There's a cable over here that's, see if it shows. Yeah, can you see it? The yellow one here is a network cable running, and it's just a few inches off the floor, and it runs into the back of the thing. And I need to do that differently. We're waiting for today. We're getting a order in of food from Walmart. They've worked out really well. I think below there is the Walmart. Did I take it off? The Walmart link. If you want to order groceries, you get I forget how much you get if you use that link for the first time. You get X amount on your first order or something, and then I get every time and I get something if you do it one time. I believe I might have taken it off because only one person used it. People just never have really clicked on links. I mean, some people do, but not many. Well, let's check that right now. That is, okay, Amazon. Go to earnings. Okie dokie. Payment history. Okay, this month, at the end of the month, I will get $5.67 because of the links that people clicked last month. You have to have over $5 to get paid, so you can see if you want to. I'll scroll here. If you want to, you can stop and you can see all the way back to the beginning how much I've made from Amazon Associates. Not very much. People just don't really click on links. Maybe if maybe people would if there was a site and there was somebody who really needed help, a sick child or something. Maybe people would then or something. I saw a YouTube site I watch a lot of YouTube sites. I'm sure we all do. I watched one the other day, and there was a young lady, and her last video, I think, was, I've got really bad news about my cancer. And I watched that video, and she said that, she'd undergone cancer treatment, and then she said that it's not going well. That was her last video. Seemed like somebody would do an update. I mean, Anyway, let me go back. Where do I want to go? Okay, yeah, here. Show more items. It's only showing 10. Let's see. Showing 10. Anyway, this, I can see what people have ordered. Somebody ordered, and I get credit for it. Someone ordered a webcam, USB webcam. Now here's somebody, but of course it didn't amount to, well, maybe that will on the next amount to a little bit more. somebody ordered Black Magic, a microconverter that converts from SDI, which I don't know what that is, to HDMI, some type of video format. And this person ordered they must be doing some kind of business type of stuff, because they ordered 3 of them. And Lady in the Water is a video, which I like that video for some reason. It gets laughed at. The director, let me see if I can pull this up. Yeah, here we go. The director here, he has made, I think, some excellent videos. But I've seen before, his name is mentioned, there'll be people talking about movie directors or a movie or something like that, and they'll laugh, sort of laugh at him, sort of ridicule him. And this is one of the movies that they mentioned, Lady in the Water. And I liked it, but I liked it for a strange reason. I didn't have any siblings. I'm an only child, and plus both my parents worked. I basically was home alone, except for there was, I think, about a year and a half when that had been first grade and maybe part of first and second grade, maybe half of the first grade and entire second grade when I went to school, that my grandmother, my mother's mother, lived with us. But other than that, I was alone. And I liked in this movie, the relationship between the brother and the sister, I think. That was one of the things that I liked. Because that's something I never have, I've watched some YouTube videos too of, these things where people are surprising somebody, like a lot of the military fathers or mothers or brothers or sisters coming home and surprising their family and stuff. But I've also seen some where brothers or sisters, especially sisters, and some of them are like identical twins or whatever, and one pops in as a surprise or whatever, and the other party and both of them are just so, and I never had any experience like that. But as you can see, I'm using Linux. Wonder if I click on this, does it show? No, it doesn't. Let me copy this. And go to here. And probably ought to go to Wikipedia. Well, this is probably for show up. Let's see, let me. Here it is, yeah. Here's Wikipedia, so they'll probably have his movie maybe down here at the bottom. By the way, in this movie, he plays the brother. Okay, yeah, here's his movies. I guess that's not a long list of movies, although I think he also he's also written some of the things. Playing with Anger, I don't know. I haven't seen that one. Wide Awake, 1998. I love that movie. I think it's a great movie. And part of the reason for that is I went to, it's about a boy in, Catholic grade school. And I think that's a great movie. She's All That. I don't know what that's about. And of course, The Sixth Sense. I think we all love that movie.
Oh, you can see that he wrote, by the way, Wide Awake. That's, if you get a chance, watch that movie. I think well, anyway, The Sixth Sense. And I was one of, I guess a whole bunch of us were. I watched that movie and I had no idea about the ending. And I was shocked. Let's see, Stuart Little, I think I might have actually seen that. I don't. Unbreakable, I don't remember if I've seen it. Signs, I don't think I watched it. My ex-wife just loved that movie. So here's, and he wrote Signs, by the way, too. The Village, I don't know about that. Okay, here's Lady in the Water, 2006. The Happening, I don't remember seeing that. The Last Airbender, I saw that. Devil, I have no idea what that is. After Earth, I have no idea. The Visit, I might have seen it, I don't know. Okay, so I guess he hasn't done that many movies. Here's his acting credits. Television. Anyway, but I think just for Wide Awake and for The Sixth Sense, and the fact that he wrote those, I think that's pretty remarkable. But I don't know why he doesn't get the. Let's see, he's 50 years of age. Hometown, lives in Pennsylvania. Been married since 1992 and has 3 children. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember reading that for The Woman in the Water or whatever, that was that the name of it? Lady in the Water. That he would tell his kid, he would make up a story, they'd want to hear a story, and he would tell his kids a story, and he was just making it up as he went along. Each night he'd come in and he would add to it or whatever, and that then became, which maybe is one reason people don't like, that became his movie. Well, let's check CNN. I'm going to try to stay out of politics today. I'd like to stay out of it if... Oh, wow. This is new since I checked in this morning. Trump lashes out his own FBI chief. I'm not going to get into... I did see something, I think it was this morning, someplace here. Oh, here it is. A former slave market will be removed from the center of Georgia's first capital. Oh, okay. So I guess it's not in Atlanta. Looks like a, sort of like a rail station or something. It does look kind of big. I saw something the other day, and it was just on the news. It was a small plaque someplace in the ground, and some major, and it was just commemorating that was a site where slaves were sold, and they were tearing it up or taking it out. I think we should be of course, I'm not black, but I think we should be a little careful. I mean, a plaque there, I mean, I don't think it said the South shall rise again or the good old days or whatever. This used to be a slave market. And, there are people who don't believe that the Holocaust, happened. They deny it. They're deniers of the Holocaust. And I think it might be in that case of that plaque. Now, maybe not this. This is kind of big. It's not that big. I don't know. And it says it's in Louisville. I never heard of Louisville, Georgia. I spent a summer in, let's see, Barnwell, South Carolina. But it was also, let's see, Georgia. Where was that? I can't remember. Aikens, Georgia. The trailer park, the government trailer park, was in Barnwell, South Carolina, I believe. When I was in like the summer of the 5th grade or something, my father worked at the Savannah. That was it. Savannah. He worked at the Savannah, Georgia H-bomb plant, building it, helping to build it. He was a welder. But, so I don't know about this building. I don't know about this building here. And it may be this small town. I'm guessing it's a small town. I never heard of it. And maybe that, maybe that's not. Maybe this is the only thing they got. And maybe they don't want people coming through town and seeing just that, especially being a small. I saw a story a while back, a week or two ago, or maybe longer, and they were talking about words that were being done away with, and one of them was, by the way, when I got out of high school, I took and completed a course at Weaver School of Real Estate in order to be a real estate broker. I never went and took the real estate broker's license or test. But in order to graduate from school, you had to take the test, I mean, you took it, and we took it a sample one, that was our final exam. And I passed that. But anyway, so, like this article or whatever said that master bedroom was inappropriate, and that was one of the words that was going to be changed, or maybe they were saying should be changed. It never ever occurred to me that a master bedroom had anything to do with slavery or, just, main, master. And the main one, I don't know. I just think some of this is I do think some of it's going too far. I think I'm entitled to say that. I spent at least 5 years of my work time fighting racial prejudice, and I mean fighting. Had an employee who said to me, a white employee who said to me, I don't know why you care more about those people than you do your own people. And I said, I've talked to you before about this, and I warned you in the past I wasn't going to tolerate it, and that's it. And so then I went to my department head, and he said, oh, he's second shift and you're day shift supervisor. And I said, I don't care. I want him fired. No, you haven't. So I just went to Human Resources Department and went in, and I've mentioned this before, went into Human Resources, and the assistant director of the department said, well, Jim, Mr. Vernon Johnson is in Florida right now attending meetings down there, and this will have to wait until he comes back. And I said, no, he's to be terminated. He's to be terminated right now. You are the assistant human resources director. Are you going to do this or not? And she said, it's going to have to wait till Mr. And I said, no, I'm not going to wait until he goes. And I went to the assistant hospital administrator and went in, and that was it. You know, he picked up the phone, called upstairs, told the, department head, this employee is terminated. And then by the time I got upstairs, the department head had told the secretary, I've got a dentist appointment. I'm leaving, let Jim take care of firing him when he, And of course the secretary said, Jim, I make all these dentist appointments and everything else. He doesn't. I said, I know that. So anyway, I think I have a little bit of, I know I don't look it. I mean, I look like a fat, old, well, I am a fat, old, bald man. But that wasn't the only time I've, fought racial prejudice. So I'm not a Klan member saying, don't take down our flag and don't do this and don't do that. And two, now I didn't check out what the words were. I saw a CNN story that NASA was going to change or use different words for some, I guess, planets or objects in the space that had racist names or inappropriate names or something. I don't know what they're, I'm not sure. I didn't look at the list. Okay, now I can see like restaurants, Sambo's restaurant. There's one left. I can't believe they, I mean that, and I would imagine that name hurts their business. So they should be happy to change that name. But now, okay, what is it? Aunt Jemima. What? I don't think I've ever bought an Aunt Jemima product. What does she make, or what is it? Is it sauce for? I never eat pancakes. Is it sauce for? Anyway, people I guess they're going to change. I guess they have changed the name. May still be some in the stores, but okay. So Aunt Jemima, I don't see what's wrong with Aunt Jemima. What would be? I'm sure there are a bunch of like, but I think I think maybe, well, that's not me. I'm not out protesting, and like I spent that summer in Georgia and South Carolina. When we went around to state parks, and ended up there was some Confederate cemeteries there and what have you. And so I saw chain gangs, and they were real chain gangs. Actually, chain gangs have come back in some areas. But back then, that was the original chain gangs. And I experienced 4 restrooms and the 2 drinking fountains. Restrooms were, men white, women white, men colored, women colored, and then the drinking fountains, white drinking fountain and colored drinking fountain. When my father was already out in Savannah, Georgia, working at the H-bomb plant, but for the summer when school came to an end, my mother and I took the train out out there, and I think it was Nashville, to wherever the chain, from Kansas City to, I think it was Nashville. Is that where Lookout Mountain is? Anyway, we changed trains, and I think where it was halfway there, I think it was Nashville. And we went into the, got off the train, went into the depot, sat down, and then a person comes over and tells us, you're in the wrong depot. This is colored only. You have to go to that one, so we went over there. Then when we got to I think it was at Atlanta, if I'm wrong on the Augusta. Anyway, when we got to the end of the trip on the train, my father was supposed to meet us there, and we couldn't find him, and I guess we waited quite a while. There was no cell phones then, and so we went out to take the bus, the city bus, and actually he was there asleep. He'd been working, and he parked parked there. I don't remember us going out and walking around. Surely we went out and walked around anyway, we got on the bus, and we went and sat down in the back of the bus, and the bus starts up, and then the bus driver stops the bus and comes back and tells us, you need to sit in the front of the bus. You can't sit in the back. That's for colored only. So we had to move, so. Two, and that was later on, of course, I was an adult then. I've mentioned this before. I was in Kansas City, Missouri, and I was a union member. My father at that point was one of the union business agents. So, I could have asked him to get me a job I wouldn't have done that, and I don't think he would have done that, given me preferential treatment. And I wouldn't have asked for any preferential treatment, and never did, ever. But the union halls would get, so he told me, he says, Pascagoula, Mississippi shipyard needs welders. And I said, okay. So I loaded up my car, and I was heading to Pascagoula, Mississippi. And when I got to New Orleans, I thought, I'm just going to check the union hall here. Went in, I said, you need any, here's my union card. Need any welders? They, oh yeah, we sure do. Texaco Refinery, Convent, Louisiana. And so I went and took the welding test, and they sent me out there. So I checked into a motel, and motel. And they had an eating place there and a bar combination. They had a bar eating place, and that's where I ate my meals and got my Coke. I had to have Coke. And I mentioned this before. I heard someplace people were having a lot of fun, but it wasn't, wasn't where I was. And then one day I just happened to be sitting down, and then I could see the guy who did the counter work or whatever. There was a swinging door, and I could see black people. That's all. The door swung open a few times, and I could see black people back there having a heck of a time enjoying themselves. And so that on the back side, I guess, was a blacks only. So when I went to high school too, De La Salle Military Academy, a Catholic school, it was in a black neighborhood of Canton. I was the only white Vine Street bus. What's that going to Kansas City, going to get me a bottle, going to, what was it, 12th and Vine. I rode that bus. I was the only white person on it for 4 years. I mean, there might have been another white person a few times on there, but, and the school was in, and my parents' first house, I've talked about that also. I can remember one of the first things I saw, that would have been first grade, I think probably first grade. I can remember two white neighbors coming over. Well, that's and having a conversation with my father, saying, "Hey, the real estate people are trying to bust our neighborhood. They want somebody to sell so they can sell to a black person, and then everybody else will want to sell, and then they make money, with whatever. And will you not, sell to?" Probably said colored. Will you not sell to the colored? My father said, "Oh yeah, we won't sell." One of these guys was our next door neighbor, and we lived on a terrace. We were on the end, and it was a terrace. And so that was the only, there was an alley behind us, but right, that guy was one of the two that came over. He sold right away, and a black family moved in. They were real, I mean, we never talked to them or had any, but they were no problem. But the entire neighborhood, eventually, we were one of the last people to move out of it. And then my father, that would have been like 20th Street, 2020 East 20th Terrace. And so I think about 60th Street would have been Linwood, I think. No, Meyer. There were blocks. So I remember being in the car with my parents. They had already picked the house out. I didn't go with them, And so I'd have been in like the fourth grade or fifth grade or something. I remember my father saying, the colored people will never be able to afford to move across Linwood. Yeah, I think it was Linwood. They'll never be able to move across to Linwood. So my parents bought for $10,000 a 3-story with a basement, 3-story old house, and pretty quick, black people moved into that neighborhood. Everybody sold, and we were definitely like just about the very last one to move out of, that area. I forget what the real estate agents, and I remember I went to real estate school. I think a law was eventually passed, and I think it was passed before I went to real estate school. And I forget what they called that, because real estate people were doing that. They wanted listings, and they wanted places they make their commission when they so they would do that block busting or whatever it was called, and you could understand people, So anyway, we're at the CNN. I haven't said anything horrible about President Trump yet, have I? Wouldn't be that good. Wouldn't be one of my normal videos if I don't. Okay, I think I may need to feed the cat. Darlene may be in a position to feed the cat, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm going to bring this to an end. Thank you very much for watching. Give a thumbs up. Use my links if you can. Thank you very much for watching.